You can. Hi, everybody. I hope you can have. I think we're having a few little tech exciting challenges to keep us all on our toes. So I hope you can hear me. My name is Sarah Gunn, and I'm a venture from the first round in Australia. My business is Go Events. I'll talk a little bit more about that. But the reason we're in this room is to hear more from Brooke and a little more on BeauTex design. We have 20 minutes in this room. So Brooke, let's start by sharing with everyone in the room. Maybe should we have 5 or 6 minutes diving into a bit more about your business?
Yeah, most definitely. So I do have some slides too I can show everyone in the room. So thanks everybody for coming along and hearing. Get excited. So yeah, it's been quite a journey with BeauTex design. So we're really revolutionising workwear by simply turning plastic waste into sustainable textile solutions. So we're really focusing on the hair and beauty industry at the moment.
Brooke?
Yeah. Can hear both of you. Everyone can hear. Awesome. So I'll just continue talking if everyone can hear. So basically, we've been on quite the journey where we're really focusing on the supply chain. So we pride ourselves on being a supply chain solutionist, and we do turn plastic waste into workwear, like I was just saying. It is a new way of manufacturing, and we're really focusing on improving socially, environmentally, and ethically. So it's really about no to fast fashion, yes to conscious designs, no to landfill, and yes to reuse. So we do have a bit of a goal. Every 100,000 hairdressing capes and aprons, you know, you go to the hairdresser, they get flung around you when you go and get your hair cut. Well, those are actually made from polyester. So it's a polyester, it's all made from like crude oil. So it's a virgin polyester. Our goal and our aim is to actually then divert those into just a simple, sustainable solution made out of plastic bottles. Here's a little bit of a slide for you as well, just to sort of explain what we're about. Every 100, so we actually use recycled plastic bottles, fishing net, and recycled rubber for the soles of our workwear. But it's not only just about the product, it's about the process. So we actually work with the manufacturers that we work with, our whole supply chain, by sourcing the plastic, milling and weaving and dyeing the materials. We use eco-friendly dyes. We work with these Australian cut and sew as well in Cambodia, and now we're actually very excited to team up with Helen from Work Restart here in Australia. So we're really connecting the dots there with people who are manufacturing these for us. These women in Cambodia have actually been taught the trade of sewing. They've been saved from awful situations. My job is connecting the corporate to these amazing corporations that exist through an order and product. So not only are we looking at the product, but it's also real emphasis on the process and the people behind it. So if you think of every company in the world having a promo shirt, for example, right? So one promo shirt, if it's made, it's always, people don't think about it, especially with procurement and policies. It's not there, like how they're made, who they're made by, the whole supply chain, not just the cut and sew. So let's just take a normal cotton shirt, which might be in the hair and beauty industry, that will be bleached. If it's bleached, what happens? Gets ruined, we throw it out. Then it's in landfill, right? Let's go back to the source. Let's just change something simple about it. So this promo shirt you've got here for the industry, if we create that made out of recycled plastic bottles and fishing net, not only will it make it bleach resistant, but then we'll also then decrease the emissions, which is obviously a huge part and push for our brand. So every 100,000 shirts that we will divert, we'll actually divert 800,000 plastic bottles and decrease the emissions by 210 tonnes. But what's really exciting is hairdressing capes, which we're nearly there. And the help of SheEO has actually helped with introductions for the industry to help me with my main order here to get to our goal of 100,000 capes. So every 100,000 capes in the world for the hairdressing industry, everyone gets a haircut, we'll divert 2.2 million bottles, decrease emissions by 3,000 tonnes. Not only is that critical there with the numbers, but it's also the end of life with the old capes as well, is what we try to educate with responsible consumption and production. So every cape that people buy from us, their old ones then get donated back to organisations like Hair Aid in Cambodia, where these women are then also taught a trade of hair cutting. So we're really trying to close the loop in every which way possible, from the end-to-end process, the sourcing of materials. And yeah, I can go on about it all day because I get really excited, obviously. And I don't know if you can hear me, Sarah.
I can.
Great. And what we love about it is even just our packaging now is even made out of recycled cement bags. And it's just looking at all these bits and pieces on how we can actually really help corporate responsibilities, and also the large corporates as well, of how we can actually help them with their own staffing and workwear solutions. That's really
You know what? I will never tire hearing this story. It just, when I first read your application online last year, I was totally blown away, and the story and the impact just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And this reporting is incredible. You know, who would have thought going to the hairdresser, you know, is going to be such an impactful exercise. But would you like to share with us, Brooke, whether you have any asks for the community that's online and listening in?
Yeah, look, I'm really bad at this, Sarah.
We're all learning. We're all learning.
I know.
Have
Look, I suppose the main asks, which already I've received without even asking, support and introductions, which has been absolutely amazing. But, you know, I really would like to look at my long-term goals as well with textile waste. And there are machines available. There's technology out there that can help with this as well. So if there was anybody interested even learning more about that or teaming up in the sense of supporting these projects, that would be one ask. The second ask, if anybody has any introductions at all to programs such as Indigo 8, or like it's Australian programs for sort of fashion and design and our production. So because we only have a small team, we're trying to develop that and put that together. So if anybody has any advice around that, that would be much appreciated.
Amazing. Have we got any questions from anyone in the room for Brooke that you would like to share with us? I can see that we're already having some offers of support here. And if you would like, you can come into the room, I believe. There's a button up the top you can click if you want us to see you. Otherwise, pop your question in the chat. Oh, Ari's got a question. Do you want to pop it in?
Ari. Hi, Ari. How you going?
Is she coming in?
Oh, yay.
Oh, yay. Hi, Ari.
Hi, how is everybody?
Good. Share your question with us.
I have two questions. Is that a bit cheeky, or is that okay?
Let's see how the first one goes, and then we'll see.
All right, fair enough. So the first one is I'm the co-founder of a sustainable brand as well.
Yep.
And my question is, in terms of investors and customers, how do you combat action over intention? So does that make sense?
Yeah, so what do you say, action in the way of what? Elaborate more on action over intent. What's your take on that?
So essentially, to put it in an example, like carbon offsetting with flights, for example. So I know that 65% of Australians will say they'll choose the sustainable choice, even if it's more expensive. Yeah. However, I think like 1 to 2% of people carbon offset for flights. So in terms of action over intention, having sustainability as a major USP, how do you convince customers and investors beyond that you're the right choice, even though that's clearly like where the heart and passion comes from?
Oh, 100%. And I really wish I had the answer for you, but I've had so many no's, so many doors slammed on my face. I've had, people literally say to me, can we just start with sustainability message first and then the ethical approach? Like, that's the reality of it. I'm not going to sugarcoat that.
I know.
Yeah, totally. So that's the reality, but you've just got to keep going with it. This year's been the toughest year. I had a lot of big corporates teamed up to take this step. Maybe get on organizations. I'm not sure what your industry of your brand is, but I was invited to the board of the Australian Hair Council, where I was then able to pitch it collectively as a group. So if you can try to get that way on boards with people, and they're all in the same industry, yes, they're all competitors, and then you'll be able to weed out whether the people who actually just want to do it just for, you know, the name of it, or actually want to do it and actually ring you back the next day. So just go in hard and go with it all at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ari. Let's see if anyone else has a question.
Yeah, go.
I'll come back to you.
All right, I'll drop out.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Right. Reach out anytime.
I'm sure Ari will, obviously facing some similar challenges. Has anyone else got some questions? If they want to jump in or pop them into the chat there. In the absence of that at the minute, Brooke, I've got a question, and that's, what's the biggest challenge facing you at the moment with the development of the business?
Well, everything obviously was put on hold, as we know. The supply chain, a lot of things aren't locally sourced here in Australia. So we've rediverted, pivoted. We're now working out of all different sort of areas as well. Unfortunately, the infrastructure is just not set up here in Australia to source a lot of plastic waste into yarn as yet. We've overcome that in the best way possible with our manufacturing processes, and our whole supply chain. We team up actually now with Australian owned factories as well. But that's been probably the biggest wake-up call as well, and what we've got long-term growth and plans in place for that as well, so we can always then look at our own waste in our own backyard.
Yeah, that sounds very exciting. I'd like to know, yes, I'm going to stay tuned for that, because I'm a bit in awe of how you're doing everything. So I'm sure most of the other people on the line too are thinking, how does she manage every little step of the way here? But it'll be great to help support you with that. So
yeah, for sure.
That's Verity. She says, let me just say, oh, Verity's going to DM you too. Okay, and I know Gail is going to do the same here. So Ari, do you want to come back in, because you've got the question? Is she coming in? Yes. Go for it, Ari.
Long time no see, guys. Long time no see. So my second question was, essentially we are a ethical food delivery platform. So we basically only partner with independent restaurants, and we pay our delivery partners a fair wage. We're zero emissions delivery methods. All of that stuff that's really easy to hit. The barrier that we've hit, which is where you would be fantastic to talk to maybe off of this, because it might be a long answer, is I'm struggling with accessing sustainable packaging options for to supply to our restaurants, but also at the same time for delivery bags and things like that. I've reached out to a few people, but there doesn't really seem to be that sort of market available within Australia. So if you had any suggestions for anyone that I could talk to, or
definitely,
that'd be incredible.
Yeah, we have a lot. There's ladies in the SheEO community, and we work with them closely. So New Zealand based. So that's looking at packaging, definitely. Which
is that Better Packaging Co. by any chance?
Yes.
Yeah, they can't do it. I already spoke to them.
Okay, so is it more like cutlery?
No, so it's for the actual delivery bags themselves to be made out of recycled materials. So you know the ones on the backs of people, the insulated ones.
Yeah.
And then also for the containers for the food and cutlery as well, as much as possible in that space we want to contribute to.
Yeah, definitely. There's a few ways. It's just my mind just went billboard material for one of the backpacks.
Okay.
That would be quite cool. So yeah, I could hook you up with that, with maybe go on billboards, or I know there could be something, a concept maybe we could get together and brainstorm, but there's always a way, even just looking at you know, like the cement bags, you know, and things like that. They're durable, like, you know what I mean? There's many ways. So yeah, I'd love to.
Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to leave you both alone now.
That's great, and that's how SheEO works. But let's come back here. Gail's got some questions. Have you connected with other Australian recycling manufacturers using Australian recycled materials to get support and tips?
Okay, so yes and no to that. There is some there's some plans in process that that's obviously our end goal. Unfortunately, there are the recycling here in Australia with the plastic waste. There's that gap missing of turning it into a fabric. So that's the missing link. If anybody has connections with that, or, you know, definitely we need to go back and review and reset and talk to exactly the recycling plants and things here in Australia. Yeah, it's long term. It's a big plan. It's a big goal, and it's definitely in the 5-year plan for sure.
So if anyone listening in has anything to do with manufacturing and plastic, there's a challenge for our community. How cool would that be? Good on you, Brooke, for doing that. And should we put in the chat here your I think, Yana, if you're there, maybe we put in Brooke's website and also some of her socials, because it'd be lovely for everyone after the call has finished today to share and like and tell your friends and family about BeauTex Designs. And just before we go, there's the 2 minutes until the end of the session, Brooke. Hairdressing is obviously one area, and beauty. Have you got plans for any other industry expansion?
Yes, mining.
Mining.
Aviation.
Mining, aviation. There you go.
Yep.
And we've got some people listening. And here come the websites. Gail says, I know you're in Queensland. There are many recycling people I could connect you to in South Australia. Would that help? Amazing.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay, and Gail, I've got Brooke's number, so, and you're in my phone, so let's talk to each other. This is what we adore and love about this community, is making shit happen, as they say. So thank you, Brooke. We'll see you again in the next breakout, but I think we're about to head back to the main stage. So anything you want to sign off with, Brooke?
No, I think that's it. I'm so grateful. Thank you, ladies. I appreciate it.
Thank you.